The mysteries of World War II are numerous, ranging from classified operations to hidden treasures, but few are as enigmatic and perplexing as the reports of Foo Fighters. These unexplained aerial phenomena observed by military pilots during the war have sparked endless speculation and debate. Were they advanced enemy technology, natural phenomena, or something far more extraordinary? In this story, we will delve deep into the events, testimonies, and theories surrounding the Foo Fighters, exploring the possibilities and uncovering the truth behind one of the most intriguing mysteries of the 20th century. The setting: a world at war. World War II was a global conflict of unprecedented scale involving nations across Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Pacific. The war saw the development and deployment of new technologies, including jet aircraft, radar, and atomic weapons, as well as the implementation of large-scale strategic bombing campaigns. It was a time of intense fear, desperation, and innovation as nations fought for survival. The skies over Europe and the Pacific were battlegrounds for aerial combat, where pilots engaged in dogfights, conducted bombing raids, and performed reconnaissance missions. It was in these skies that the phenomenon known as Foo Fighters was first reported. The term Foo Fighters was coined by Allied pilots primarily from the United States and the United Kingdom, who encountered mysterious and often terrifying lights or objects during their flights. These encounters were so widespread and persistent that they became a significant concern for military leaders and intelligence agencies. The first reported sightings of Foo Fighters occurred in the European theater of operations, particularly over France and Germany in late 1944. American and British pilots flying night missions began to report strange glowing objects following their aircraft. These objects were described as spherical or disc-shaped, often glowing orange, red, or white. They appeared to move with incredible speed and agility, easily keeping pace with the most advanced fighter planes of the time. One of the earliest documented encounters took place on the night of November 27, 1944. A squadron of American B-17 bombers flying over Germany reported seeing several glowing orbs trailing their formation. The objects displayed no visible means of propulsion, emitted no sound, and exhibited maneuvers that defied the capabilities of any known aircraft. Despite the best efforts of the bomber crews to evade or engage the Foo Fighters, the objects seemed to mock their attempts, maintaining a consistent distance and speed. Similar reports began to flood in from other squadrons. Pilots described the Foo Fighters as intelligent and playful, as if they were toying with the aircraft. The objects would often appear out of nowhere, perform impossible maneuvers, and then vanish just as suddenly. These encounters left pilots baffled and unnerved, unsure of what they were dealing with. The theories begin. As sightings of Foo Fighters increased, so did the speculation about their origin. Initially, military leaders and intelligence agencies suspected that the Foo Fighters were a new type of enemy weapon or reconnaissance device. The German Luftwaffe was known for its advanced aviation technology, including jet fighters and rocket-propelled aircraft. It was not unreasonable to think that the Foo Fighters might be some new, secret weapon developed by the Nazis. However, there were several problems with this theory. First, the Foo Fighters did not behave like conventional weapons or aircraft. They did not attack Allied planes, nor did they appear to be performing any reconnaissance. Instead, they seemed to be observing and following the aircraft as if studying them. Second, the Foo Fighters were often reported in areas where no German aircraft or anti-aircraft defenses were present, raising doubts about their origins. Another theory suggested that the Foo Fighters were natural phenomena such as St. Elmo's fire, ball lightning, or even reflections of light from the ground. St. Elmo's fire, a weather phenomenon where a bluish or greenish light appears on the tips of objects during thunderstorms, was known to occur on ships and aircraft. Ball lightning, a rare and poorly understood phenomenon, could also produce glowing orbs of light. However, these explanations fail to account for the Foo Fighters' behavior, speed, and apparent intelligence. The third and perhaps most intriguing theory was that the Foo Fighters were extraterrestrial in origin. This idea was not as far-fetched as it might seem, given the reports of unexplained aerial phenomena that had been occurring for decades before World War II. Some pilots and researchers believed that the Foo Fighters were alien spacecraft, observing the war from a distance. The possibility that humanity was not alone in the universe added a new layer of mystery to the already baffling phenomenon. The military response. As the reports of Foo Fighters continued to pour in, the military took the phenomenon seriously. The Allied forces established several investigation teams to study the sightings and gather as much information as possible. These teams interviewed pilots, collected radar data, and analyzed reports in an attempt to identify the nature of the Foo Fighters. One of the most significant investigations was conducted by the U.S. Army Air Force's Technical Intelligence Division. This division was responsible for analyzing enemy technology and developing countermeasures. They were tasked with determining whether the Foo Fighters posed a threat to Allied aircraft, and if so, how to defend against them. Despite extensive efforts, the investigation teams were unable to provide a definitive explanation for the Foo Fighters. The objects did not appear on radar, leaving no trace of their presence. Eyewitness accounts were consistent but lacked concrete evidence. The lack of physical evidence and the erratic behavior of the Foo Fighters made it difficult to draw any conclusions. As the war continued, the sightings of Foo Fighters persisted. Pilots grew accustomed to the strange lights, considering them more of an annoyance than a threat. However, the mystery remained unsolved, and the military's inability to identify or counter the Foo Fighters added to the tension and uncertainty of the war. The sightings spread. While the majority of Foo Fighter sightings occurred in the European theater, reports of similar phenomena began to emerge in the Pacific theater as well. American pilots flying missions over Japan and the Pacific Islands described encounters with glowing orbs that followed their aircraft and performed impossible maneuvers. One notable incident occurred on the night of January 1, 1945, when a group of U.S. Navy pilots flying over the Pacific Ocean encountered several Foo Fighters. The objects were described as bright orange-red lights that flew in formation with the planes. The pilots attempted to engage the objects, but their weapons had no effect. The Foo Fighters eventually broke formation and disappeared into the night sky. These sightings in the Pacific further fueled speculation that the Foo Fighters were not of earthly origin. The idea that advanced, possibly alien technology was being used by an unknown force added a new dimension to the war. The sightings also raised concerns about the potential implications of such technology falling into the hands of the Axis powers. As the war drew to a close, the sightings of Foo Fighters gradually decreased. However, the mystery remained unsolved, and the reports continued to intrigue and puzzle both the military and the public. The post-war investigations. After the war, the Allied forces conducted extensive investigations into the Foo Fighter phenomenon. These investigations were part of a broader effort to understand and analyze the advanced technology used during the war, including the development of jet engines, rockets, and radar. The U.S. military in particular was keen to understand the nature of the Foo Fighters. The newly formed U.S. Air Force established Project Sign in 1948, followed by Project Grudge and Project Blue Book, to investigate reports of unidentified flying objects, UFOs. While these projects focus primarily on post-war UFO sightings, they also reviewed the wartime reports of Foo Fighters. The military's official stance was that the Foo Fighters were likely a combination of misidentified aircraft, natural phenomena, and psychological effects experienced by pilots under the stress of combat. However, many researchers and pilots were unsatisfied with this explanation, believing that the phenomenon was far more complex and unexplained. In the years following the war, numerous theories and explanations for the Foo Fighters emerged. Some researchers suggested that the Foo Fighters were an early form of drone or remotely piloted aircraft, possibly developed by the Germans or even the Allies themselves. Others speculated that the Foo Fighters were a manifestation of electromagnetic disturbances caused by the intense radio and radar signals used during the war. Despite the various theories, the true nature of the Foo Fighters remained elusive. The lack of concrete evidence and the secrecy surrounding military investigations only added to the mystery. As the Cold War escalated, interest in the Foo Fighters waned, overshadowed by concerns about nuclear weapons and the space race. The extraterrestrial hypothesis. One of the most persistent and controversial theories regarding the Foo Fighters is the extraterrestrial hypothesis. This theory posits that the Foo Fighters were not of human origin, but were instead alien spacecraft observing or even interacting with the war. Proponents of the extraterrestrial hypothesis point to several factors that support their theory. First, the behavior of the Foo Fighters was unlike anything seen in human-made aircraft. Their ability to perform sudden, high-speed maneuvers, hover in place, and disappear without a trace suggested advanced technology far beyond what was available at the time. Second, the consistency of the sightings across different theaters of war and among pilots of various nationalities suggests that the phenomenon was not limited to a specific region or group. The fact that the Foo Fighters were reported by both Allied and Axis pilots raises the possibility that they were a third-party presence, observing the conflict without taking sides. Finally, the timing of the Foo Fighter sightings, coming at the height of World War II, has led some to speculate that the extraterrestrials were monitoring humanity's progress and capabilities during a time of global conflict. The possibility that the Foo Fighters were alien reconnaissance or observation vehicles adds a new layer of intrigue to the phenomenon. While the extraterrestrial hypothesis remains speculative, it has captured the imagination of many researchers and enthusiasts. The possibility that the Foo Fighters were alien spacecraft adds a new dimension to the mystery, raising questions about the potential role of extraterrestrials in human history. The impact on popular culture. The Foo Fighter phenomenon has had a lasting impact on popular culture, influencing the way we think about UFOs, extraterrestrial life, and government cover-ups. The term Foo Fighter itself has become synonymous with unexplained aerial phenomena and has inspired various books, movies, and even a rock band. One of the earliest depictions of the Foo Fighters in popular culture was in the science fiction literature of the 1950s and 1960s. Authors such as Isaac Asimov, Arthur C. Clarke, and Ray Bradbury explored the concept of advanced alien civilizations observing humanity from afar, often drawing inspiration from the wartime reports of mysterious lights in the sky. The Foo Fighters also played a role in shaping the narrative of government secrecy and conspiracy theories surrounding UFOs. The lack of official explanations for the Foo Fighters combined with the military's efforts to downplay the phenomenon, contributed to the belief that governments were hiding the truth about extraterrestrial encounters. This narrative became a central theme in the UFO community, influencing the way subsequent UFO sightings and encounters were interpreted. In the 1990s, the Foo Fighters experienced a resurgence in popular culture with the formation of the rock band Foo Fighters, led by former Nirvana drummer Dave Grohl. The band's name was a nod to the wartime phenomenon, reflecting the sense of mystery and intrigue associated with the unexplained sightings. The Foo Fighters have also been featured in various documentaries and television programs exploring the history of UFOs and unexplained phenomena. These programs often revisit the wartime reports of Foo Fighters as part of the broader narrative of UFO sightings, highlighting the enduring mystery and the ongoing search for answers. The continuing research and interest. The Foo Fighter phenomenon continues to be a subject of interest and research, particularly among ufologists and historians of World War II. While the official investigations have long since concluded, independent researchers have continued to study the reports and explore new theories. In recent years, advances in technology and access to previously classified documents have shed new light on the Foo Fighter phenomenon. Researchers have been able to analyze historical records, radar data, and pilot testimonies in greater detail, providing new insights into the nature of the sightings. One area of ongoing research is the comparison of Foo Fighter reports with modern-day UFO sightings. Some researchers believe that the Foo Fighters may be part of a broader pattern of unexplained aerial phenomena that have been observed throughout history. By comparing the characteristics of the Foo Fighters with those of more recent sightings, researchers hope to identify commonalities and patterns that could provide clues to the nature of the phenomenon. Another area of interest is the potential connection between the Foo Fighters and other wartime mysteries, such as the infamous ghost rockets reported over Scandinavia in 1946. These unexplained objects, described as missile-like craft, were observed in the months following the war and have been the subject of speculation ever since. Some researchers believe that the ghost rockets and Foo Fighters may share a common origin, possibly related to secret military experiments or extraterrestrial activity. Despite the ongoing research, the Foo Fighter phenomenon remains an enigma. The lack of definitive answers has only deepened the mystery, and the phenomenon continues to challenge our understanding of the world. The Foo Fighters serve as a reminder that there are still many unexplained events in history, and that the search for knowledge is an ongoing journey. The broader implications of the Foo Fighters. The phenomenon of the Foo Fighters during World War II has implications that reach far beyond the immediate context of the war itself. These unexplained sightings challenge the conventional understanding of aerial technology and warfare at the time, pushing the boundaries of what was believed to be possible in terms of speed, maneuverability, and detection. One of the key implications of the Foo Fighters is the potential existence of advanced technologies or entities that remain hidden from the public eye. The fact that these objects were observed but never conclusively identified raises the possibility that there are forces at play in our world that are beyond the current scope of human understanding. Whether these forces are technological, natural, or even extraterrestrial in origin, the Foo Fighters serve as a reminder that there is still much to be learned about the capabilities of the universe. Foo Fighters also highlight the limitations of military and governmental institutions in dealing with the unknown. Despite the resources and expertise available to the Allied forces during World War II, the Foo Fighters remained an unsolved mystery. This lack of resolution suggests that even the most powerful organizations may be unable to fully understand or control certain aspects of the world. This realization can be both humbling and unsettling, as it implies that there are elements of existence that are beyond human control or comprehension. Another broader implication of the Foo Fighters is the potential impact on public perception and belief systems. The widespread reports of mysterious lights and objects in the sky during the war contributed to the growing interest in UFOs and extraterrestrial life. These reports also fueled speculation and conspiracy theories, leading some to question the official explanations provided by governments and military institutions. The Foo Fighters phenomenon thus played a role in shaping the modern discourse around UFOs, extraterrestrial life, and government secrecy. It contributed to the development of a subculture of researchers, enthusiasts, and conspiracy theorists who continue to investigate and speculate about the existence of advanced, hidden technologies and the possibility of contact with extraterrestrial civilizations. The role of human perception in the Foo Fighter phenomenon. One of the key factors in understanding the Foo Fighter phenomenon is the role of human perception, particularly under the extreme conditions of aerial combat during World War II. Pilots who reported sightings of Foo Fighters were often flying in dangerous, high-stress environments where fatigue, fear, and adrenaline could all affect their perception and interpretation of events. The psychological and physiological effects of combat can lead to heightened senses, altered perception, and even hallucinations. It is possible that some of the Foo Fighter sightings were the result of pilots' minds trying to make sense of unusual stimuli such as reflections, flares, or atmospheric disturbances. However, the consistency and persistence of the reports, as well as the descriptions provided by multiple pilots, suggest that there was more to the phenomenon than just perceptual distortions. The Foo Fighters may also reflect the influence of cultural and psychological factors on how people interpret unexplained phenomena. During World War II, the fear of advanced enemy technology, the stress of combat, and the uncertainty of the times could have contributed to the interpretation of the sightings as something extraordinary or otherworldly. In this context, the Foo Fighters can be seen as a reflection of the anxieties and fears of the era, manifesting in the form of unexplained lights and objects in the sky. The enduring legacy of the Foo Fighters. The Foo Fighters phenomenon is a testament to the enduring human fascination with the unknown. Whether they were advanced enemy technology, natural phenomena, or something far more extraordinary, the Foo Fighters captured the imagination of those who witnessed them and continue to intrigue researchers and enthusiasts to this day. The mystery of the Foo Fighters remains unsolved, and the lack of definitive answers only adds to their allure. They represent a chapter in history where the boundaries of knowledge and understanding were pushed to their limits, and where the possibility of something beyond the known world was brought to the forefront. As we continue to explore the mysteries of the universe, the Foo Fighters serve as a reminder of the importance of keeping an open mind and being willing to consider new possibilities. They challenge us to question what we know, to seek out the truth, and to remain curious about the world around us. In the end, the Foo Fighters are more than just unexplained lights in the sky. They are a symbol of the enduring human quest for knowledge, the search for truth, and the curiosity that drives us to explore the unknown. As long as that curiosity exists, the mystery of the Foo Fighters will continue to captivate and inspire those who seek to understand the world around us.